Hello, all you beautiful people out there, and welcome to Atheist Church. So, before we get started with Atheist Church, I just would like to know, what, uh, I'm having a conversation under one of my videos with a Christian who obviously believes that the Bible is God's word and blah, 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 blah. And, um, and he's like, well, Jesus said, and I'm like, the Jesus of the Bible never existed. And then he's like, well, how do we get morality? And I'm like, seriously, you're using the morality argument? It's like one of the worst arguments for God out there. I mean, seriously, don't Christians know that most of us, at least in the United States and other first world countries, used to be Christian? Don't they know that we know their book better than they know their book, which is why we are atheists and not Christian? And don't they know that we don't really give a damn what their book says, because their book is a bunch of nonsense? Yeah, right, Nevermore? I totally concur. So anyway, yeah, Christians, if you're here, here's a tip for you. Don't use the morality argument. Okay? It doesn't prove you're God. All right. So now let's get into Atheist Church and tithing. And, like I said, my live streams are not scripted. So I have no idea what the hell's going to come out of my mouth, which is one of the reasons I enjoy the live streams. So let's get going. Okay. So, first of all, if you remember when we read Leviticus in Saturday live stream, God needed gold and silver. I got a question. First of all, why does God need gold and silver? That's the first question. Why does an omnipresent, omnipotent, all whatever God need silver and gold? Okay. And secondly, if he needs it so much, why doesn't he just make it rain down from heaven if he's real? Which, of course, he's not. So it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Okay. So then we go to tithing. That was my preface for the tithing. Okay, so now we get into the tithing. First of all, Christians don't really give a damn what the Old Testament says. Okay? The only verse in the entire Bible that talks about tithing is in the Old Testament. And it appears in Micah, bring all the tithes into the storehouse so that there may be food in my house, and the windows of heaven will be open, and I will pour out you a blessing so big there's not room enough to receive it, or something like that. So, yeah. That's in the Old Testament. No verse in the New Testament. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. In the New Testament about tithing. Okay. So then, they've got another problem, because if you go to the New Testament, yeah, they don't have tithing in the New Testament. However, the Christians, the early Christians in the New Testament, according to the New Testament, were basically communists. Everybody sold what they had, and they lived communally, and people who didn't have as much got what they needed, and the people who had a lot gave up what they didn't need for the people who needed stuff. So it was basically communism, okay? So if you really, really want to live by New Testament principles, then you need to sell all you've got, give it to the church, and live communally. That is what you need to do if you want to live the way that early Christians lived. But of course, Christians don't want that. And if you do that, there's no reason for tithing now, is there? Of course not. Of course not. Because you have everything in common. Yes, nevermore, Jesus was a hippie commie. So true. So true. So, I mean, seriously, they're not even internally consistent. Okay. First of all, tithing is in the Old Testament, and they say they don't follow the Old Testament because they're under the covenant of grace and not the covenant of the Old Testament. But most of them tithe anyway. Well, if you tithe, then you need to follow the commandments. And there's more than 10 of them, people. There's like 600 something of them. You need to follow them all, including not wearing mixed fabric, okay? Just saying, if you want to be consistent, then you have those two options. You can either be, say, a Messianic Jew, which means that you follow the law, okay? Because tithing is part of the law. Or you can sell everything, give the money to the church, and live communally. Those are the two options. Those are the two options. Now, getting back to tithing, tithing is called tithing because it means a tenth. So a tithe is a tenth of whatever you make. However, note that in the Old Testament verse about tithing, it does not say money. It says, bring all your offerings into the storehouse. Well, what does all the offerings mean? Well, duh, it means all the offerings. It doesn't mean just money. It means your time. It means your food. It means a bunch of other stuff. But Christians don't really think about this shit, do they? Of course not. Because they'd rather live in the little imaginary reality that they have set for themselves instead of actually going through the Bible and seeing what the Bible actually says instead of what their fucking pastor wants them to see, you know. And yeah, I mean, come on. What are you doing, Christians? You're not living like, if you want to follow tithing, fine. But be consistent. Follow all the laws of the Old Testament. If you don't want to follow tithing, fine. Live like the early Christians. Sell everything and live communally. Those are basically your two options if you want to be consistent. But you don't want to be consistent. Now, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So, why does God need money? I mean, seriously, you ask a Christian that, and they're going to say something about, well, you know, the church building needs maintenance and the electricity needs to be on in the church and you know, yada 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 yada. And why can't God do that himself? If your God is there, he shouldn't need your money to keep the church up to date with maintenance. He shouldn't need your money to pay the electric bill. He shouldn't need your money to pay the preacher. I mean, let's face it. For the most part, your tithe is going to go straight into the preacher's pocket. That's the truth. I mean, I can't help it that it's the truth. It just is. Look at Joel Osteen. Look at Kenneth Copeland with 2 jets. 2 fucking jets. What does he need with 2 jets? You know? I mean, like I said, first of all, why does God need money? Why can't he make it so that that the church doesn't need money, that it's all, you know, taken care of? But they don't tell you that, you know? It's not until you're out of that mindset that you're like, wait a minute, why does an all-powerful God need money? And you're like, shit, why didn't I think of that before? You know? So, yeah. Um, some churches believe in tithing and some don't. Um, Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in tithing. They're like, just give us whatever you got, you know, although they are hurting for money because of all the lawsuits. Um, so yeah, there may be a time when they introduce tithing, but who knows, you know. Um, but anyway, as far as I know, that's the only church that doesn't really do tithing. Other churches like want you to tithe, but they're not like really, you know, enforcing it. It's just like it's something you need to do, but if you don't, oh well, you know. Um, it just it baffles me. It baffles me that these Christians don't even think to ask, why does an all powerful God need money? Why does he need gold and silver and all this other shit? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any kind of sense. And yet, people fall for it all the time. I don't know why. I fell for it for 40 years. And you know what? I'm glad I'm out. I'm glad I'm out. Um, I don't know what else to say on this topic because, I mean, that's basically all I got to say, right? Seriously, think about these things, people. Think about these things. Exactly, Nevermore. Exactly. So, anyway, uh, if you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a join link in the description. And I will be starting up my edited videos this week. I just had to show this one. Hey, Tom. Well, of course, right? Right? Ah, doesn't make any kind of sense. Why doesn't God just shower down the money? You know? I mean, he's all powerful according to them. He could do that, right? Unless he's, you know, not real. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, why don't you find some of my edited videos? I think you might like those. So have a great day, everyone. Bye.